Well, I was living in Ealing, South Ealing, and I attended a little Ealing school, and on the 3rd of September 1939, war was declared, and on that it was a Sunday, and I found myself outside the school with my gas mask, which strangely enough were issued several weeks before the war was declared, over my shoulder, and not knowing, to me it was quite exciting, and I saw a whole lot of double-decker buses outside the school, and off I was transported to the safe part in the country, which was just in Woburn Green in Buckinghamshire, where the whole bus disgorged all the children, and we went into the village hall, and people came, and we were like cattle, and they sort of take the people who came, who were willing to look after the children, came and collected us.
Did you have a label on you?
I did that all years. When at the school, I had a label with my name with a great big safety pin, and through the piece of paper, which was on my lapel. But anyway, and as I but it was a bit so exciting. Well, it'd been exciting in a way. It's something quite new, break from the monotony of life. And anyway, I was went to live with a little country family in Loudwater, just outside Woburn Green, and a very nice family. There was a retired or retiring father and his wife, and they had a 21-year-old son who was a executive in the paper mill. Everybody worked at the mill, just there at Bourne End and Woburn Green, because all the water that was there, and then I stayed for with also there was one more boy from my school at the stayed with me, so I did have some company, but they were very, very kind, and it was quite pleasant, very different, a different kind of nice food and all that. We were very well looked after, and the son had a little car, a little Austin 7, which was unusual, but they were, I suppose, fairly well off by modern standards. They were all technical people in the printing industry, paper industry rather. Flackwell Heath was a golf club, was opposite our house. Flackwell Heath is part of Loudwater, with a railway running at the bottom, Great West Railway, and a very heavy winter in 1939. There was lots and lots of snow, and the golf course had a hill that a lovely slope running down. Unfortunately, at the bottom was a railway line, so when we were tobogganing and skiing down the slopes, we had to brake pretty rapidly, and it was a great experience, because they had a lovely wooden ski with sledge rather, with metal runners.
How long were you there?
I was there, and well, what happened was that we're only there really for a year, because when the war broke out, most of the war activity was at sea and in Europe, because of course there wasn't very much happening in Europe, even though the forces were over in Europe, but nothing. There was no heavy bombing or anything at the early stages. It was a war at sea, and also on the line. It all starts in Poland and then gets driven through to France, Dunkirk, much later. So everybody got a little bit brassed off at the end of a year, and I suppose we all said we want to come home, and there was no bombs at home, so we were allowed.
Did your parents visit you while you were there?
They did not. No, I'm afraid they didn't. But they occasionally got the odd postal order for 2 and 6pence, which was wonderful. But no, they didn't, and that was rather strange. But I mean, I had a new family really for that time. But when I did go home, it was fortunate, because when war broke out, it was a time when you go from to the junior school, and or today we call secondary modern, and so I had an opportunity to sit a little exam. I missed my opportunity, and not being terribly bright, I would never have made the grammar school, but I passed an exam to go to the secondary modern school. Eventually got called Walpole Grammar in later years, I hear. And that was nice. But then the bombs started. It was almost a year after the war had started. The bombs really started to rain in London and everywhere. And so the whole school, secondary modern school, evacuated to Newton Abbot in Devon. And it wasn't forced to. I mean, that you went if you wanted to. And I didn't mind. And my mother was probably glad to get rid of me. One less mouth to feed and so on.
Did your brothers and sisters go?
Well, my younger sister went also with me on the first occasion she wasn't with me, she was at Bourne End around the corner, to a different family entirely. But we were split up and we never saw each other really. Only on one occasion during the year we were there did we sort of get a chance to meet. But yes, she was too, and a very nice family. And I think she felt a little bit out of water, fishing out of water at the time. They were a family, we were very horsey and had horses and all sorts. And that was something a bit beyond. Well, she was quiet sort of person, but my mother's sisters and were older than me, and they were but going at that time they were out at work at business, and my brother, who was 12 years older than me, was certainly called up into the army, so my second evacuation was for a very, very pleasant family. I was evacuated and taken under the wing of a lovely couple. He was a fireman and his wife was very sweet. She didn't work, she was just a housewife, and they had a little daughter of about 5 years old. And it was a very nice place, and I lived in just outside the main town of Newton Abbot, and on the Ashburton Road, and I had a lot of new experiences of visiting things like Buckfastleigh Abbey, and where the monks were still building the abbey, and it was a big hoo-ha because a lot of the monks there were Germans, but of course the monks were, as monks, there was quite an international community of monks, and the abbey had been being built for years, and it's still a very it's very, very, very a wonderful place.
And how long were you evacuated there then?
I was there for about two years or so, and again at a time when I think, I don't know why, the school didn't necessarily all pack up or go home, and I don't know how or why I went home, but I just was fed up and I probably just did, and my parents said yes, okay, so I could go home, and I did go home. And then went back to school, and the raids were still happening, of course, at home, and helped build the first Anderson shelter in the garden. I didn't do very much, but my father and my brother dug up the bottom of the ground and put one of these terrible corrugated iron Anderson shelters there.
And did you use it often?
Yes, we did. The whole family went in about 7 o'clock at night, but by about 2 o'clock in the morning, it was dripping with perspiration everywhere off the cold ceiling. And we used to drag, with our blanket and pillow, we'd creep back to the house.
Were you scared at that time?
No, not really. But we hit there was a lot of gunfire and bombs. I lived in Ealing, which was just outside the main London, but we had our share of bombs, and one of course, every morning we'd collect as much shrapnel as we could, see how much shrapnel we could collect on the way to school to compare notes. They could be big chunks of metal come from the guns which are firing, and also the bombs. And it used to rattle on the seat. It used to rattle down on the roofs. You could hear it, that went on too. And it was quite. You accepted the war. Unfortunately, of course, young people. There was no time really. There was very little to do. As a Boy Scout, I was very pleased from the year of 8 I'd been joining the scout movement, and as a cub, and went through did lots of things, and became a choir boy and so forth, which incidentally was one of the things when we were evacuated in the first place. I just remembered that I had to sing a solo at the Easter Olivet to Calvary that they did, and I was very nervous about it. But because they learned I'd been in the choir, I was evacuee, so they pushed me into the performance of the Olivet to Calvary, and. I suppose and I still remember the words. I don't know how well I do, but I